students, in this class we will be getting a look into one of the aspects or the attributes of your organizational behavior, that is attitude. So what is the definition of attitude? You can see it is the manner, disposition, feeling or position with regard to a person or thing, tendency or orientation, especially in the mind. So you can see various scholars are given their own definition of attitude, like Gordon Allport. He has given that attitude is a mental and neural state of readiness organized through experience exerting a directive or dynamic influence upon the individual's response to all objects and situations with which it is related. Similarly, Frank Freeman has given another definition. You can see an attitude is a dispositional readiness to respond to certain institutions, persons or objects in a consistent manner which has been learned and has become one's typical mode of response. Like that, Thurstone has given another definition of attitude, that is an attitude denotes the sum total of man's inclinations and feelings, prejudice or bias, preconceived notions, ideas, fears, threats or others, or you can say and other any specific topic. Similarly, there are many such definitions given by various stalwarts. If we gist it all and if you give a short and brief view of it, so what is an attitude? It is a persistent tendency to feel or behave in a particular way towards something or other individuals. So how is attitude formed? The attitude is formed by 5 different ways. So what are the 5 different ways? The first way is the classical conditioning. So what is classical conditioning? This theory explains the fundamentals of attitude formation, and it says that when individuals come across specific observations continuously, on the basis of that observations they form an attitude. So basically what in classical conditioning, what is done, over due course of time, the individuals, if they see certain observations and based on the observations or based on the things they are going to look into it, so based on that they form an attitude that if we do this, this is going to happen. This is from the past evidences or their continuous approach towards certain things. If they try to formulate the attitude, whatever they have, this is known as classical conditioning. Next is operant conditioning. So in operant means consequences. So sometimes people behave in a specific way in anticipation of certain consequences. So this particular attitude, if is based on the thinking of the consequences, will termed as operant conditioning. Next is role modeling. So individuals, suppose you follow a certain icon of the society and you try to develop yourself like him or her. So that particular development of personality will be termed under role modeling, because you are inheriting the personality or attitude of a certain individual and accordingly you are exhibiting that attitude. So it will be termed as role modeling. Next is family or neighbors. So based on where you are living, you are right with your family, you are living right from your childhood days. So certainly there are certain attitudes which will be inherited to you right from your family, and also where you are living, the culture of it will also come into picture while you will be exhibiting your own attitude. So this is another factor that influences the attitude of an individual, the family and the neighbors. Last is economical or occupation. So in economical or occupational aspect, based on the economic condition of yours or the occupation you have adopted, based on that, if you develop the attitude, it is known as, means it will come under this economical or occupational thing. So next is what are the components of attitude? It may be a cognitive component, it may be a affective component or behavioral component. So if you see, there are 3 types of attitude. So what are the types of attitude? Job satisfaction, job involvement, and organizational commitment. So what do you mean by job satisfaction? It means the employees develop positive or negative attitude towards the job on the basis of their satisfaction. When the job fulfills their expectation, they get satisfied and develop a positive attitude, and if they cannot fulfill their expectation, then they do not get satisfied and it forms a negative attitude. So next is job involvement. So what is job involvement? When an employee attach themselves throughout a job or intake a job, then it is called job involvement, that how much you are involved in a particular job, that particular attitude will come under your job involvement. Next is organizational commitment. So it is the degree of employees attachment towards the organization. How much an employee is attached to a particular organization will be termed as organizational commitment. So you can see what are the factors that affect your attitude. Social factors, as we have already discussed, social factors, direct instruction, family, personal experience, media, physical factors, economic status and occupations. These all factors influence your attitude, whatever attitude you have developed. Okay, so the important part of your attitude is your emotional intelligence. So what is emotional intelligence? It is called the emotional quotient and is defined as the ability of an individual to understand his behavior or emotions as well as others' behavior and emotions as well. Okay, so there are 4 types of emotional intelligence. First one is the self-awareness. So self-awareness is the degree to which an individual knows himself. Okay, you can understand. Next is self-management. So self-management, it is the degree to which the individual will be able to control his or her own emotions. Okay, so how you can control your own emotions will be coming under self-management. Next is social awareness. So it is the social awareness, it is basically the level of controlling the emotions of others. Okay, next is social skill. So it is the level of controlling social skill, it is the level of controlling the emotion of others, and awareness is the degree, or the difference between social awareness and social skill is that social awareness, it is the degree of knowing others, and social skill, it is the level of controlling the emotions of others. Okay, similarly in social self awareness and self management, self awareness is the level of knowing your own emotions, and managing your own emotions will be coming under self management. Similarly, social awareness will be the level of knowing others emotions, and social skill will be the ability to control other emotions. Okay, so there are 3 particular components of your emotions. So what are the your 3 components? One is affective, knowledge and behavior. This thing we have already covered. Yes, so affective, knowledge and behavior, these 3 are the components of your attitude or emotions, you can say. Knowledge will come under your cognitive component. Affective means we will come to it one by one. Okay, so affective and knowledge, these components are hidden, but they contribute 90% of the emotions, whereas this third component, that is your behavior component, will be 10% of the emotions of a certain person. 90%, again I repeat, 90% will contribute of the emotions will contribute to the affective and the cognitive study of that individual, and 10% will be responsible for the behavioral component of your total emotion. Okay, so affective, what is affective component? It is a set of feelings. The affective component is a set of feelings. The knowledge component is the set of that is the knowledge component means the cognitive component is the set of informations. The component of behavior is the set of action which are visible. Okay, so this is the 3 meanings of these 3 individual components. So if feelings, what will happen if feelings supersede the information, then feelings will influence behavior, you can understand. but if information supersedes the feelings, then the information will influence the behavior. Okay, so there are various barriers to changing attitude. What are the barriers? First one is many people do not want to change their attitude because they have a commitment, and another is that many people do not wish to change their attitude because they know because they do not know how to change the attitude. Okay, so what is the relation between your attitude and organizational behavior? Attitude helps in understanding others well, so as a result it helps to overall enhance the quality of our organizational behavior. Next is the reason for others behavior is hidden inside the attitude, because you will be able to understand others behavior, that others why they are behaving in a certain manner through your organizational behavior. Next is knowing the attitude of employees and proper modification can result in a more satisfactory employee. So if you know the attitude of employees and you can manage those with proper modification, you will be able to get that particular employee more satisfied. So these are the various factors that influences your attitude aspect of your organizational behavior. So what are the particular uses of employee in attitude survey? You can see what are the points. First one is focusing on employee development programs. Through it you can enhance the employee attitude. Another is enhancing management and employee relations. You can certainly do that in order to enhance the total attitude of the employee. Next is training needs assessment, it is another point. Evaluation of training is another point. Organizational climate survey is another point. Another is facilitating the development and organizational change. You can do that in order to enhance the complete attitude of the each and every employees that is associated with the organization, and accordingly increase the productivity of that particular organization. Next is getting the employee feedback on their internal health of the organization, because if you get the internal health, that is the satisfaction, their attitude, their personality, these things, if you can get the complete feedback, then you can emphasize on the areas where the employees are not satisfied. Accordingly you can provide those as per the requirement, whether it is feasible. Many a times it may not be feasible by the company to provide those particular things, but if it's feasible and if it's beneficial for that complete productivity of that organization, then certainly the organizations should adopt that, and accordingly the overall productivity of that organization will increase. Next is measuring the impact of certain of current programs, policies and procedures. So if you get a good vision of the current programs, policies and procedures that you are adopting in a particular organization through the attitude, then you will be able to get the clear view of it, and accordingly you will be able to extract the most possible output from the employees. Next is motivating employees and improve job satisfaction, because unless and until the employees are satisfied with whatever job they are doing, they are certainly not going to give you the maximum productivity or the maximum output they can generate out of that particular job. So you need to understand and need to motivate the employees to get the most out of those employees. So this is another reason why the employee attitude survey is needed. Next is customer satisfaction survey. Of course this is another important aspect. Unless and until we get the customer satisfaction survey, we will not be able to know where the particular areas the customers are not satisfied with or they are dissatisfied. So accordingly we can put emphasis on those particular areas, and as a result the customers will get satisfied and we can sell more goods to the customer, and the overall productivity will increase, the sale will increase, and this will in turn give the most benefit to the company. And of course the last point is the most important point. Why we need the employee attitude survey is that it increases the employee retention. That means employee retention is means that most of the time, most of the employees will be associated with the job for the lengthiest period, that in terms keep the organization a good you can say flow throughout the organization, because the employees whoever are associated with it for a large number of years, for a lengthy period, they know their particular job, okay, and accordingly they can carry out with their job and give the productivity to their upper heads. But if you employ a new employee into that particular organization, then what will happen? They at the start, they won't, the job that is assigned to them won't be predefined. They may make some mistakes, and the correction of those mistakes and all those things will require certain amount of time, and in turn that will decrease the productivity of that company for the certain time where they are working under that training period or anything. So accordingly, if the employees are working for a larger number of years, then what will happen? The employees know their whereabouts, they know where they need to function and what are the function of theirs in that particular sector where they are working, and accordingly they will be able to produce the most effective results. Okay, so with this we come to the conclusion. So finally we can say that attitudes are evaluative statement, favorable or unfavorable, related to the person, objects or events. So in a particular company, the attitude may be favorable to the company, may not be favorable to that particular company. It is not that all the employees attitude should be favorable to the company, or it should be all the employees attitude should be unfavorable to the company. There is a certain mismatch between the two things. Certain section of the employees attitude may be favorable and certain may not be. So you have to deal this, you have to deal the company's heads have to deal this, the employers have to deal this with quite a good understanding of the things, then only they will be able to extract the maximum output from that particular company. Although second point, you can see, although there are some differences regarding attitudes based on the opinions of the above, it may be concluded that the attitude is a state in which a man moves to act or do anything in response to a situation or condition of the objects in the surrounding environment. And the last point is that actually it is the statement towards something or someone exhibited in one's beliefs, feelings or intended behavior. It is a social orientation or underlying inclination to respond to something either favorably or unfavorably. It is not like that your attitude will always be beneficial to your company. It may not be. Certainly, it may somewhere it may be unfavorable to your company also. But the management of this attitude comes under a big limitation for the organization behavior, as we have already discussed. Certainly, the heads of the company need to manage this. Certain section of the people may not have a positive attitude. Certain section will have certainly a positive attitude, but the management of this attitude of each and every individual comes under a big threat for the organization. They need to manage this, and accordingly, once they will be able to manage it time to time, they will be able to extract the maximum output. So with this we come to the conclusion of the attitude part. Attitude is, again I am repeating, it is an important aspect, or you can say attribute of OB model, that is organizational behavior model. It is an important attribute. You need to manage this attribute in order to get the most out of this. There are many such outputs. We will come to it one by one. Like in the next class, we will be going for the personality thing. So these all attributes needs to be managed by the company in order to extract the most output out of that company. Okay, I think it is clear to you. If you have any doubt, you can ask me through YouTube comment section, or you can go to your come to me. Always I am available. Or you can also in the Canvas portal you can raise any doubt if you have. Then I will address those doubts. Thank you.